Hello and welcome to our very, very special interview with Susanne from Makeover My Leftover. She's a food waste expert and she's here to tell us all how to save more food. So, Susanne, hello.
Hello, thanks for having me.
Oh, thank you so much for joining us. So, I'm going to start. Can you tell me a little bit about Makeover My Leftover?
Make Over My Leftover is my blog, it's my business, and it's my passion. And my main goal is to help people not only save food, but save money. Because when you're saving food, you're also saving money. And that's really important in today's society. So I just help people. I do food waste workshops and out of the food. And I usually challenge everybody to a 1 week challenge. And for 1 week, that is to take all your food when you go to throw it in the trash can. Don't throw it in the trash can, put it in a separate bag for food only. And at the end of the week, have a visual and look at that bag and how much food, and then transfer that into money and how much money you wasted. It's an eye opening experience.
That is fantastic. That's a really good idea. So, what inspired you to start Makeover My Leftover?
I was in the restaurant industry for 22 years. So in the restaurant industry, you see a lot of waste. People don't want to take the food home, So I started with the to-go boxes, writing on the top actually recipes. If they had leftover French fries, I'd write a quick little recipe for potato pancakes, and I'd bring on the box. And I found that more people started bringing the food home once they had an idea of what to do with the leftovers. So that's really how I started. And then when I retired from the restaurant industry and started my own business, within the first week, I kept hearing all these statistics about food waste. So, for instance, an apple, how many times we have an apple and it sits there? Do you ever let it go to waste? Would you take 25 gallons of water and pour it down the drain? It'd be insane. But have you ever wasted an apple? Because that's how much water is wasted when we throw away an apple. So
Wow.
it's like that really moved my passion to really start getting into food waste.
I love the idea of the recipe on the box. My brother works in food management in Australia. He'll be watching this, so he's definitely going to pick up on that one. That's such a great idea. I love it. The
55% of all restaurant leftovers go to waste. So that's insane.
It really is. It really is insane. So, what's your go-to recipe? Now, I know that's a difficult question because there are so many options with leftovers, but what's your let's say maybe your crowd pleaser, the one that people really love the most?
It's pizza is a universal food. I think everybody loves pizza. And there's so many things you can do with pizza. Even the last slice of pizza, you could turn into a pizza dip and share it, because how hard is it when you open up the refrigerator and you have a few people you want to feed and you only have one slice of pizza? So I use that pizza, I put it in the food processor, which food processor is your best friend when it comes to using leftovers, and then put it in with a can of tomatoes and some cheese, and you have a nice pizza dip to share. So that's one of my things. But when you think leftovers, think dishes that use up a lot of proteins and vegetables. So you're thinking stir fries, curries, pot pies, pastas, things like that are going to stretch your leftovers.
Oh, wow. I'm learning so much. I'm learning so much. It's incredible. And our last question for today's lesson is, can you give us some top tips on reducing food waste? Now, I know that you could probably give us about 500. So,
Yeah.
let's say your top three or top five tips for saving food waste.
The big one would be take inventories. Keep an inventory of your pantry and your refrigerator and your freezer. I actually have an inventory sheet on my freezer with everything in it. So not only am I saving energy because I don't have to open up the freezer and root to see what I have a list there. But also when you make your grocery shopping, you already are aware of what you have. So you're not going to overbuy. So that's one of my tips there is take inventories.
Mhm.
Second is make your freezer your best friend. You can freeze literally anything and everything. If you have herbs going bad, mix them with olive oil, put them in an ice cube tray to freeze them, and you put that in there. Your leftover coffee, your leftover tea, you name it, you can freeze just about anything. So utilize your freezer, but just make sure you're marking it and keeping your inventory sheet as well. And then another thing is I say run your kitchen like a restaurant. So when you do go to the store and you come home, first in, first out. So you rotate your stock. You don't put something new in front of something old. You keep it. And then the simple tip for your refrigerator is make an eat first bin. So that's, you can use a glass bowl, you can use the little box in your refrigerator, but put it front and center with the word eat on it. And that's stuff that's going to get lost in your refrigerator, like that last slice of cheese that's maybe in the bin, or the apple that's in the drawer. You don't want it to go bad. So put little bits and pieces right there. Even if it's the last of the little mustard in a container, you can use that as a salad dressing. So put that in there as well.
Oh, I like it. And just one more question. I know this one's a surprise question. But let's say you're at somebody's house for a meal, and you're sitting down and you see there are leftovers on people's plates. What's your reaction to that?
I always try to inspire people to what they can do with it for the next day. I'll say, hey, that would make a great omelet in the morning, or something simple like that. But also, when you're having parties and that, don't serve the plates to people. Let the people serve their own plates. And that's going to save food waste as well, because I think we have a tendency when it comes to parties and that we want this abundance of food where it's not necessarily, you don't need that. So just value the food, and also, think about all the food that we can replant, the seeds, the stems. You can grow celery. I haven't bought green onions in over 5 years because it just keeps growing and growing, like Jack and the Beanstalk. So just to be aware, but yeah, I can get on the soapbox when it comes to food waste.
That's absolutely incredible. Thank you so much for joining us here today. I'm sure all of our students would have got a lot from this. I know I definitely have got a lot from this. Thank you so much for being here today.
And don't think trash, think treasure. So
exactly. Thank you so much for joining us. It's been a real pleasure. And well, I'll see you on Instagram, that's for sure.
Thank you, Harry.
Thank you so much.